Welcome to the My AZ Lawyers Law Firm podcast. We provide information about what you can expect from the entire bankruptcy process and how to use bankruptcy protection to achieve your financial goals. Our law firm has experience successfully representing Arizona clients throughout the entire bankruptcy process, and we are able to assist you in getting a fresh financial start. This podcast series is reviewed and approved by attorney Candace Callan.
In this episode, we'll cover everything you need to know about how filing for bankruptcy impacts child support obligations in Arizona. As a parent in Arizona, it's the responsibility of yours to provide for your children. Therefore, this includes paying the child support of yours on time. Arizona doesn't take this responsibility lightly and also has numerous punishments at the disposal of theirs, which includes incarcerating parents that fail paying their support orders. Additionally, if parents have child support arrearages, declaring Chapter 7 or even Chapter 13 bankruptcy won't discharge the debt of child support. Nevertheless, filing for Chapter 13 bankruptcy in Glendale might put you in a position to enable you to get caught up on the payment of yours that you owe for child support. Let's take a further look at child support and the various chapters of bankruptcy and your options. First, what happens with child support when filing Chapter 7 bankruptcy? When you file for Chapter 7 bankruptcy, there's an automatic stay which stops anyone from pursuing claims against you. The automatic stay doesn't stop collection actions for unpaid child support. Nonetheless, along with a party looking for back child support from you, is permitted to proceed regardless of the simple fact you filed a Chapter 7 bankruptcy. Any revenue you get once you file for bankruptcy isn't considered a part of your bankruptcy estate in a Chapter 7 bankruptcy and may be looked at in determining child support responsibilities and utilized to pay support arrearages. In a Chapter 13 bankruptcy, nonetheless, any income earned is a part of the bankruptcy estate, along with a party seeking to enforce a support obligation should request help from the stay to do it. If an individual that filed for Chapter 13 bankruptcy is currently governed by a support order and additionally fails to produce support payments, the bankruptcy trustee will often raise the stay so the assistance could be recovered. Now, let's answer the following question, asked by one of our clients. Is it accurate for my ex-spouse who has declared bankruptcy to now claim that she does not need to pay child support? Child support payments generally can't be discharged in bankruptcy. Thus, your wife is completely incorrect, which means that a parent that owes child support can't escape this particular responsibility by filing for bankruptcy, whereas bankruptcies don't serve as a stay or maintain on measures in order to establish paternity or to change child support obligations. If your co-parent has stopped paying child support, the court and State Department that administers support could use various techniques to try to enforce those aforementioned support obligations. The relationship between bankruptcy and child support is complicated. Therefore, you might require the assistance of an Arizona lawyer acquainted with bankruptcy law. Next, you might be wondering, will filing a Chapter 13 get rid of my child support? In a Chapter 13 bankruptcy in Arizona, child support obligations are as essential in the federal bankruptcy court as they're in the Arizona family court. In Chapter 13, child support is considered a priority debt. Child support arrearages must be paid through your Chapter 13 payment plan. A Chapter 13 repayment plan lasts 3 to 5 years and is based on what the filer is able to repay. However, if there is child support, that must be figured into the plan. The substantial difference between a Chapter 7 and a 13 is usually that a Chapter 13 stops collection activity for support obligations. A Chapter 7 bankruptcy does not stop collection efforts on back child support. Support collections might be kept because the bankruptcy code considers the debtor's earnings as home of the estate. Let's follow up by understanding how the arrearage child support is put into the Chapter 13 repayment plan. Thankfully, after these payments are stopped, a Chapter 13 repayment program permits a debtor to manage the debts of theirs, and also by paying child support debt, a debtor will lessen the amount he or she would usually spend to satisfy their general creditors. Sometimes debtors are able to minimize just how much they pay to various other creditors by the total amount of support debt they owe through a Chapter 13 filing. Paying back child support should be considered a positive, whereas many debtors usually prefer to pay for the needs of their children by paying the owed child support versus paying their arbitrary creditors. Nevertheless, one important part would be that the debtor should stay current by continuing paying their support obligations. Failure to do so means they won't get their Chapter 13 discharge. At the end of the Chapter 13 repayment plan, not only will the filer receive a discharge from their Chapter 13 bankruptcy, but the filer will also be current on their Arizona child support payments. One cannot happen without the other. Lastly, keep in mind that child support is a priority debt. As the benefits of providing for minor kids is recognized throughout federal court systems and state, in both Chapter 7 and Chapter 13 bankruptcies, child support debt is deemed a priority debt which isn't dischargeable in bankruptcy. As a result, any ordered child support debt won't be forgiven in case you file for bankruptcy, and you'll be forced to make up the overdue payments. Additionally, child support debt is paid first over other priority debts, including tax obligations and also before unsecured obligations. In case you filed a Chapter 13, any support debt must be paid off entirely through part of your respective repayment program for you to get a discharge from the debts of yours. Making all of your Chapter 13 repayment plans in conjunction will satisfy your child support and arrearages. An experienced Arizona bankruptcy lawyer will make sure this happens through a Chapter 13 bankruptcy. Remember, if you are considering filing for bankruptcy and are currently paying child support or have child support arrearages, you should seek the assistance of our experienced Arizona attorneys. The professionals at MyAZ Lawyers represent clients in Arizona in both bankruptcy law and Arizona family law. We will keep you apprised each step of the way so that you can feel confident in whatever decision you make regarding your case. Our dedicated bankruptcy lawyers and staff will work tirelessly to file your bankruptcy with as few drawbacks for you as possible. You may get in touch with us by calling 480-448-9800 or visit us online at myazlawyers.com.
Thank you for listening to the MyAZ Lawyers Law Firm podcast. Whether you feel prey to a credit card with hidden fees and a high interest rate, or misfortune has taken your job, family, or health, declaring bankruptcy may be the answer to your problems. If you're thinking about declaring bankruptcy in Arizona, do not hesitate to call our experienced attorneys.